Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Law of One Spiritual Advice Podcast. My name is Elle, and I come to you today to read some Law of One material and share my reflections and opinions on the quotes that are within. Today's podcast is a bit more spontaneous in that usually I put a bit of more pre-thought into what I'm about to talk about and record. However, I've just been in a bit of a weird mental space lately, and I don't know, I've been even having a little bit of trouble trying to find the energy to do the podcast. So what's happened is that some lovely person has connected with me recently, and just, able to talk back and forth, sharing similar perceptions, and they've given me the strength to do this right now. And the other thing is that I know that when things get hard, that's maybe even also the most important time to really, keep doing what you know to be right, which is to record this podcast and do spiritual reflections on the daily. So here we are. And thank you for anybody who has supported me, because it honestly means the world to me. To have you guys have my back, it's really appreciated. I just, don't really have the words to explain how much I appreciate it. Okay, so let us begin today's quote. It is from Ra, and I didn't write it down, but I believe it from my memory. It should be, yes, it is 65.12, so session 65.12. The quote begins with, "Although you have many, many items which cause distress and thus offer seeking and service opportunities, there is always one container in that store of peace, love, light, and joy. This vortex may be very small, but to turn one's back upon it is to forget the infinite possibilities of the present moment. Could your planet polarize towards harmony in one fine, strong moment of inspiration? Yes, my friends, it is not probable, but it is ever possible." Ra, the Law of One. End of quote. Okay, so maybe you know why that quote came up for me. It's because I'm going through a bit of a dark time of transition and transformation, and with the darkness is very overwhelming, and it sort of lays heavy on you sometimes. So if not any time in life, it is now. It's that is the most important time to remember what it is that you're here to do, what it is that to be true, which is this is lessons of love, light. I need to keep my mind focused on the good things, on the infinite possibilities of the moment, and as I do that, it brings you back. This is faith. This is sort of the idea of faith. Is what this is. So, when they, in their quote here, they're talking about containers in a store. I suppose maybe I didn't include the whole previous quote. There's just a whole bunch of extra stuff that's a little too complicated that I didn't want to go into. But you consider this, you walk into a grocery store, you have all this containers upon the shelf. So let's just pretend that just like the world, right? You go out there, it just appears that there's like 95% of those containers in the stores are all just filled with darkness, not seemingly very good things. But then, even though it may be hard to find and not very obvious and very small, there's that little container in that store that holds that love, light, and that infinite possibility. And to neglect that and to turn one's back upon that is foolish. It may be foolish. A lot of people call you foolish for recognizing that container. However, that's sort of the difference. It's holding that inch, like what is it, if you've ever seen V for Vendetta, it always comes up in my mind. It's like it's that inch that we hold. They push and push and push, and we hold that inch of faith, that inch of hope. We don't give that inch. Like it may be small and it may be not much, but it's all we got, and I'm not going to turn my back on that, right? So you can tell, I don't know, like even just in my voice, I'm a little emotional here speaking. And I know that this is really personal. And so if you would like, I will share with you in detail sort of my thing, because, I always like to keep things a little vague. But it's part of me being vulnerable and opening my heart to all you guys. So my situation I find myself in is that I've worked at this company for 13, 14 years. I've given a lot of my life and effort to this. I've sort of built up a wage that allows me to support myself, you know, not greatly, but comfortably. And, I'm grateful for the things that I have. And I've also, in my time growing up, I've had a few bad reactions to different sorts of, medical stuff, which is sort of just like a blood issue where, well, yeah, anyways, I've had it's almost 3 different times in my life this issue where I've taken sort of medication and then my platelets get all messed up and I almost die. And like the third time that happened, I was in the ICU, the intense care unit for 7 days. So I did almost die. I just trying to give you some background as to just why I'm about to tell you where this is going, which obviously you know where this is going. But anyways, I have very serious concerns about, taking things that are questionable or deemed, like I should be able to make my own risk assessment, shouldn't I? The last 3 times I had taken medications, this has happened to me, and the third time I almost died. So, given that the way that things are going right now in the world, like you kind of need multiple, multiple, I want to say it without saying it so I don't, risk with the censors and stuff. But, you have to get like at least 3 of them, right? So if I've now had experience 3 times and now like I have to now go have 3 more of these experiences and the possibility of balancing that risk of like, will I die again or will I possibly be okay taking the opposite risk, because I am a human and I should be able to make that decision for myself. So anyways, just what I'm trying to say is that I'm not just a conspiracy theorist. I have actual serious concerns. However, people don't seem to think that matters. And so my government in my country has mandated that federally regulated companies or whatever will have to, have the thing. And so I'm left at the decision where I have to, try to go to seek getting some sort of, exemption from that. And I'm not, it's not really what I wanted to do. I think that really the right thing is just to do it on moral grounds, obviously, right? No, I will say no, thank you. No, thank you. But when it comes to your livelihood and like the possibility of the roof over your head going away, food, that's, what do you call that? That's challenging to my red ray, right? The very lowest center of me. It's really just, it's a low blow hit. And, it just doesn't seem fair, obviously, given that if I have actual concerns that like I should be able to decide that. But anyways, enough of that. That's enough of that. So you understand the situation I find myself in, and it's really easy to be like, okay, well, I don't like what's gonna happen if this happens? Like if I get let go because of this, what will I do? And I don't really know what I'll do, but I mean, I have options, right? I have started this podcast. I've asked you guys to join my Patreon, and a lot of you have, and you support me for the Law of One Instagram page, and like infinite gratitude. It's a good little chunk of change which helps me, right? Continue this and put more effort into serving and doing podcasts, spending more time on this so I don't have to work less overtime and things like that. But it's definitely nothing compared to like what I make in a month, like from doing my job. And even then, it's not like I make a ton, but if you make like $700 a week, that's $1,200-$2,800 a month or so. So yeah, it seems like so greedy to be like, hey guys, like, can you please support me? I need to make $2,800 a month. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not trying to turn this into a begging session. It's really weird. But my point is that I have options, right? I can ask you guys for help. Maybe I can start, like in my real job, I am actually a coach in a way. So I could actually, why don't I start spiritual coaching? Why don't I have other things that I like to do with like woodworking and stuff. Like, why don't I try to do things like that? Why don't I try to like, make some t-shirts for this other social media page that I have that's a bit more, fun spirited or whatever. Like I have these options. So for me to just feel that I have no options, that's really easy to do. It's easy to be hopeless. It's easy to give up. It's easy to just be like, poor me, poor me. This is unfair. How dare they do this to me? And to all means, that's true, right? Like, what the hell? How dare they? But here we are. So what am I going to do about it? Am I going to just sulk and cry? I mean, I will for a moment because I know that I need to work through those emotions. But after that, I need to buck up. I need to put my act together, set my focus forward on what I want. They say that if there's a will, there's a way, and damn you, you better believe I have a strong will. I have a will that you do not want to mess with. Even just like, it may sound really silly, but even just to like make an Instagram post about in-depth spiritual things every single day. Like, I've been doing this on Instagram for, I think, over 10 years now. It I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, I understand the power of doing things daily, because it increases the will, increases the focus, that increases your power, and it gets you to a point of understanding and truth within yourself, essentially. So I guess, long story short, I want to just recognize the possibility that maybe all the craziness that's going on in the world right now is a collective dark night of the soul, and it's a catalyst for our eventual awakening, right? Like, sometimes you don't know what you want until you are faced with what you do not want, right? It's like the shadow. It's like you seek the truth of love and light, but you have this shadow. The shadow reveals itself to you, and you have to acknowledge that shadow and realize it exists, so that you don't just become complacent and neutral. You need to seek the light, seek the truth. So the shadow stands in front of you in darkness to give you that choice. Here's your choice. Do you give up, or do you push forward, right? So you sort of have to be grateful for that darkness. It's challenging, but it strengthens the will. It's probably the reason we incarnated here, to be honest with you, is for these exact sort of times and situations where we're left in a place of sort of unknowing, and all you're left with is your faith and your discernment and your intuition and your intelligence to, look at things, do what you feel is best, and just keep trying to do what you feel is best. Have good intentions, and, like, what else can we do, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoy a more personal story from me. I will admit I was very nervous about sharing this with my Law of One people, because I know that there's going to be a mix of community of different people who have done different things and will have different opinions, and I don't shame you for having that opinion. I just wish that we could all respect each other's opinions, and really, like, it would just be as easy as that if we could do that. It's just that there's sort of one side that will refuse to respect your opinion, and I don't think that, like, people who have gotten the thing by all means fall into that category. I know a lot of you were doing what you feel is right, and I like congratulate you on doing what you feel is right. Like, amazing. That's all I want to do, is just, I want to do what feels right for me, and I want you guys to do what feels right for you. And yeah, I just don't think that, like, my livelihood should be at stake. I just, obviously, for many reasons, don't even need to talk about because it's all very obvious. All right, so I love you guys. Thank you much for listening and being a part of this community. And yeah, I'm going to, I don't think I'm just going to sit around and wait for the outcome of what happens with my work and mandate and everything. I honestly just think that the right thing to do is to make a decision now to move forward, right? Why not create the option to have something different before I need that option completely? Maybe this is what I needed, the catalyst I needed to push me into the next stage of my life. So I don't know, I'm thinking that, because in my real job I was a coach, why can't I just do coaching, spiritually? So thank you guys. www.the1infinitecreator.com. You can support me there. Obviously, I would really appreciate it at this time specifically. You can even throw me a one-timer donation, and anything at all just goes a long way right now. Obviously, I'm a bit nervous, and as I see something come in, And like a future Patreon thing allows me to be like, okay, in future months, almost no matter what happens, this will come to me. And I promise you guys, like, I will do my best always to give you my best, to give you my highest and best. I want to give the daily posts that come from a deep place within my heart, and I want these podcasts to be, like meaningful and powerful for you. So thank you guys so much. I really love this, all of this, and all of you guys and everything that you do for me. So thank you so much.